another thing I want to talk about. There's an urban legend about this. Have you ever heard this?
About the movie?
About the movie and the money. So
No, this is amazing.
Okay, so Steve Buscemi buries this money, right?
Well, if I was watching us right now, I wouldn't turn it off for once.
For once.
Okay, go ahead.
You mean you're not going to fall asleep while you're editing this time? Oh.
Sorry, another late delivery. Anyway.
Way to kill the moment.
I know, right? I fucking just...
Boom.
Anyway, sorry. Go from wherever. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
So, there's an urban legend about this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first you're hearing of this? So, Steve Buscemi buries the money under some snow.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the movie, it says a true story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea was, supposedly, there's this Asian woman. She comes over from Tokyo. She believes this true story so much, she goes out and she searches for it, and she dies in the snow. She freezes to death, searching for the money. It's a little bit... It's an urban legend because the true story is more like she was a depressed woman from Japan who had lost her job. She came back to Minneapolis... because it's a place she had good times with a lover. She had an interaction with the police where she was talking to them, and it's something about their account and her supposedly pointing something and saying Fargo. Was she pointing at a map trying to find the city of Fargo? Was she talking about the movie? That's where it gets mixed up. But at some point, she did drown herself in a lake, though.
So she didn't die from exposure.
Suicide,
yeah. Do you believe Mike Yanagita was involved in any of this? Then maybe that was the love that she remembered. She came back looking for Mike.
Yeah.
Not only did Mike not exist, she was like, this is going to be the best trip of my life. I'm going to meet up with an old friend. I'm going to find this ice scraper.
I'm going to make some money. I'm going to rekindle an old
stop
flame.
at the In-N-Out Burger.
I'll get it down on the Well, and a little even weirder addendum to that. Somebody made a movie about that urban legend.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of like a little, and I've never seen it before, but it's. I'm sure they softened the edges. Maybe they played with how much of the truth they used.
Yeah, that could get real dark. I mean, that's a kind of a
It's
bummer.
a story, right? It was a grim story when she froze to death. It got worse when
Yeah.
you find out she committed
What do you
suicide.
think? Do you think that she finally interviewed the person that was like, this is not real? Like a person that would have been like, if she'd interviewed you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You were like,
yeah.
no, that's just part of the movie.
Part of the
Like
movie.
none of
It's
this is
not really
real.
a true story.
Like I've lived here my whole life. None of this
I don't
happened.
think she killed herself because she found out the money wasn't real.
You think she always knew?
I think, yeah. I don't even know if the movie was part. That's the part that I'm not 100% sure.
Ah.
It's like when I was reading up on it.
I see what you're saying.
She interacted with some police who said their account was that she was pointing to a piece of paper and saying Fargo, and like it was like pointing to this stretch of land, this stretch of highway, and so it's like, were they just some like Minneapolis cops who didn't understand, and she was maybe her grasp of English wasn't good. Like I think they're, but
So this is
either
just
way,
wait. So that does make it weirder. Now this is just a lady that asked some people about Fargo and then killed herself, and then they built this.
And because these cops are just terrible at their job, it became this weird urban legend.
This is why you have to be very explicit with your suicide notes. You don't want all the speculation around your suicide. You might turn into. I wouldn't mind becoming an urban legend. I wouldn't mind becoming an urban legend. I mean, what's going to happen when I really do die? There's not going to be a cool story.
Offshoots. Do you have any ways, like spectacular ways in mind you'd like to die, or cool things you'd like to happen after you die? 'Cause I have a couple.
I don't.
Okay. One, I think it'd be really crazy to die in a roller coaster crash.
Like,
right? It would be a quick death, right? I'm not talking about, like, any, by the way, just so you know, I'm talking about I hit the pavement, I don't remember a thing. I'm not talking about maybe I grasped to life for a week and I
yeah. Nobody wants that Terry Schiavo shit.
Right.
Yeah, you don't
Obviously,
want that.
that's off the table.
But there is that, you wonder in your mind that moment when it derails before you hit the concrete.
I bet that takes forever. I bet that just stretches out to an eternity.
That's when you realize that time is circular and all that shit, you know, and you relive your whole life every moment at the same time, and you realize that it's not actually linear.
Did you watch Arrival this week?
Yeah, you know, it's been stewing since I seen it. It's kind of figuring it out.
The other thing I wanted
took
to
the air out of that, did you?
Well,
It's all
okay,
gig.
Mac, you know,
It's all
it's
gig
all right.
cut.
This is a lot of this is getting cut. I'm still gonna get this down for the audio. Look for the audio.
Oh yeah,
bunker.
one
Coming
day,
out
one
soon.
day.
Coming out someday. The audio bunker. I also would love when I die for a secret family to show up. I don't want the responsibility of actually cultivating a secret family, but I want to pay actors to show up and pretend like I had a
Let's
secret
say
family.
money wasn't an object. What? Well, that's hard to say. What do you think that's worth, though? To pay, and what is the extent they need to go to? Do they need to like interact with your family for a while?
I would expect them to do some solid improv work at my funeral, at least.
But just
okay,
the funeral.
Okay. Calling hours.
Because you're talking about half brothers and sisters here, though.
And
now
I don't want the joke to ruin my actual funeral. Because if it's just actors, eventually it's gonna come out.
so like your son gets a phone call like in the day after the funeral. Hey, it's your half brother Jerry. That was all some bullshit your dad paid us to do. Just one last fuck you to the family.
Now I want it more than ever.
What movie did we watch this week?
This is off the rails.
It's all my fault. I'm sorry.
Let's see, here we go.
Yeah, I know you said you used to want to get drinks later. I know you said you wanted to go out. Yeah, still want to go to the movies. You said your dad liked movies.
I was like, yeah, the idea of that they bonded really hardcore. It was like this really like bonding experience. Changed Harrison's life. It's like I was mad, but I met this new family, and I lost my dad, but I feel like I gained. And then like Stan from the improv group just calls him up, like, oh, by the way.
And you think about those moments.
Thanks for all the training, though. I needed the practice.
Those moments where it's happening during the funeral, and he's like second guessing the rightness of it. He talks to one of the other members of the family, like, you gotta lock it down, man. There's $50,000 on the line.
Check cleared, man. We're committed.
Are you an actor or are you not an actor?
Oh, and you know, I would have something set up who would know about it, who'd be watching them.
Oh,
you know,
my
I mean,
God.
and if
Well,
they
yeah, it would be
don't-
a film.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because I would stop payment if they don't follow through.
And that's the thing, too, is you pay them to get your son's reaction as they're telling him on the phone, and then you play it back.
The cameraman's job is just as important as the actor's. They gotta get the reaction.
I will say, your son's young, but I feel like your wife would love that, and I feel like as he grows into being the two of you, he would also enjoy that. So it wouldn't be bad. I think he would love it. I think he would actually love it.
Another sidebar on this. I've also told my wife. Well, we made a deal that if one of us dies first, if the other one remarries, on our second wedding day, we have to throw a handful of ashes in the face of the person that married.
Just without warning
Just
at all.
without warning, just gotta be
So you'll be married for 2 years. This is why you're saying it to go back to.
Well, the idea being that the person you marry after my death should be cool enough to understand that they need to get a face full of my ashes.
Yeah.
They should be into it.
Without ever knowing that was a thing.
Fucked up.
Man, you're gonna marry the coolest second wife anybody's ever had, dude. It's a cool fucking lady. It's like
super cool. She
it's like
does
Martha
not exist.
Washington cool,
she's just
man.
the Albert Idle Hands cool. She does
Yeah,
not
that's
exist.
true.
She does not exist.
Come on in, crazy man.
Oh, you're trying to strangle me.
I saw you throwing ashes at people out on the street. Why don't you come in here and come into my bedroom?
All right, let's reel it.